Good evening, ANMI members and the dignitaries. Today we are happy to bring to you ANMI WR 88 Knowledge Series webinar on clarification on UCC and the 6 attributes of KYC in association with NSE. We are conducting today's webinar with the intention to seek more clarity and resolve members' doubt related to UCC requirement and KYC updation. Now I would like to welcome our speaker, Mr.Jinit Thakkar, VP Investor Service Cell, NSE, and Ms.Dinaz Shroff, Chief Manager, Investor Service Cell, NSE. I request speaker to start the webinar and guide the members on the subject. Thank you. Over to you, Jimmy.
Thank you very much, sir, for the introduction. Good evening, all of our colleagues, all of the trading member fraternity. I have Dinaz and Shanti also with us on the call or the seminar. Shanti is from WRO and she's the AVP. So it's just we together wanted to address this requirement or the changes which we have brought in with regard to the 6 attributes. So if we are audible is one thing, sir, if you can confirm, or Sheetal.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. So we'll proceed. So thank you very much, everyone, for placing your queries across to us. We have received queries from many of our trading member friends. It is comprehensively covering the entire process and what we had proposed and what we are doing as an approach. So we will start and begin with that. We'll try to cover up everything. In case there is anything which is which requires clarification or which requires more understanding on it, we will you can paste it on the chat. We'll be more than glad to assist and answer them. In case there is anything from a process point of view which you may require, we will share the email addresses also where you can write, and we will share a detailed comprehensive note over that. So we will cover and we'll try to support whatever and however best we can do to ensure that your doubts are cleared and clients are not impacted under any circumstances. So to begin with, we all are aware that 4th of July we went live with our 6 attribute functionality. Under this functionality, we allowed all the clients who have complied with updation of their 6 attributes, which are namely the name, address, income range, PAN, mobile, email address, right? So whichever or whoever, all the clients who have updated these details to the broking members were permitted to trade as per the circular. Now, in case there is any single attribute which was missing, those clients have not been able to trade. So by, I would say with all, thank you to all the members. With their support, we have complied with maximum clients, and the process was, seamlessly, the functionality got launched, and we appreciate all the support and, thank you all the members from our side. We have certain questions which we'll, want to answer over here because, this has come from the entire forum. The first question is, why are inactive and closed UCCs permitted to trade? Fair question, fair ask. But this was a deliberated, thought which we would like to, communicate to you guys also. During the process or before, having this functionality rolled out and going live on 4th of July, before and after, we had received various representations from, the trading members, where a few trading members, if they were marking their client UCCs as inactive, they could refrain, they could stop the client from trading, putting a trade in the market. However, there were few members who could mark the accounts inactive at their end, but they did not have that validation where a client could be stopped from placing a trade. However, and same in the closed functionality. We also observed before 4th of July and after 4th of July, there were various, and of course, it is, I would say we anticipated it because every member has a chunk of clients or a big base of clients, and the requirement was supposed to be before the circular or before we going live, they had to do the needful and changes at their end technologically also. There were few accounts which were inadvertently closed or marked as inactive at their end, and which could cause a client impact and they would not be able to trade on the next day. We deliberated that we should allow active, inactive, and closed accounts also to flow to the trading ops end, so that if in case there are any open positions or in case the accounts are inadvertently marked as inactive or closed, still they could place the trade at least through the trading member end, if not online, and if the online validation is not there, they could place it from their end as well. So this was a well informed decision which we took, and of course this will not continue for long, but in a very short span of time we would be only allowing 6 attribute compliant and active clients to be allowed to trade on or permitted to trade on the exchange. So a humble request, as late as last Friday we received, in fact last week in totality we received one of the trading member came back to us saying that we have inadvertently closed 600 accounts, subsequent to which a request of 300 accounts which were inadvertently closed, and as late as last Friday there were 40 accounts which got closed inadvertently. So we request you all, since adequate time, we have given adequate time, it's been a month plus this functionality has got rolled out. We request diligence while marking the clients inactive or closed, because this will have a direct impact on the clients. And yes, of course, we are here to help each of you in case there is any dire situation which may want to be addressed. Please feel free to write to us. Point number 2 was income updated as of previous date are allowed to trade. Now, as per the earlier circulars, we had clarified that in case, or rather, every trading member has to, update the income as per the last calendar year. Now, there are cases while, income is already updated as a part of 6 attributes, but we see in various cases where 2018, 2019 incomes are updated. Now, this, check or this validation or this attribute, we would appreciate if it is, taken up by the respective trading members, because it's not going to help anyone, but it's going to help all of us. Where I would like to share an instance or, observation where, a client is, quoting that my income is between 1 and 5 lakhs, but he's trading much beyond his net worth. So something which I do not feel right, should we question, right? So if monthly dumps are being taken, where it's a simple, validation which technology update or a query can give you an output, where clients who have traded between, who have given their income between 1 and 5 lakhs are trading beyond X amount. You can have a threshold of 25 lakhs for that matter, which gives you a sense of what's happening in the market, and have the clients updated or updated you with the correct information. And as a regular KYC exercise, whichever you may be conducting annually, semi-annually, or in once in 2 years, you may please ask for the latest income details, so that you are in sync with and that what's happening primarily when it's in disappropriation, it's not in proportion to the income they have updated. So that's again one submission. For now, since it is updated, it is allowed to trade, but sooner or later, in case this validation is built up, it will be required on a calendar year wise. Currently there is no check on the date of update. When can the new UCCs be allowed to trade? So currently, as per the current, as per the circular, if you would have, read it, any account which is, for let's say, today is 8th of August. So any account which is getting approved, PAN approved, and of course with 6 attributes, etc., would be allowed to trade on the subsequent date. Now, we also have two, periodic updates which we are taking is of 2 o'clock and at 10 o'clock. So what is happening is, any account, so it's not that, okay, to make it more simpler, we have kept a last cutoff of 10 p.m. So any accounts which are uploaded in the UCC system before 10, okay, will be immediately validated as per our, validations. It will be sent to NSDL for, PAN verification, etc. Will be accommodated and applied for subsequent day trading. Now, we could have kept that, check at 6 p.m. But yeah, we wanted to accommodate more of clients. And of course, the traffic at NSDL end for verification, PAN verification is minimal at the end of the day. So we deliberated on the timings and we kept it 10 so that we can bring in more and more, UCCs. We can accommodate more UCCs which are coming through today so that they get captured in our database and they can trade on the next day. Whether they can trade during the day or will they be allowed in future during the day through API functionality or through a periodic update, we will keep you posted. We are working on something. If that is technologically viable, we will certainly keep all our members updated if they can trade during the day, and if on periodic or on a immediate basis. So that you'll have to allow us to explore and come back to you, but we are working towards it. Permitted to trade file is received late. Yeah, that's a very valid ask. But yes, 10 o'clock if we have kept a cutoff, exchanging hands because there are various processes other than only updation of UCC which runs at the exchange end, because the data exchanges, various databases, various fields have to get updated, clearing houses, etc. So the activity takes a bit of time, and in case of on 4th of August we realized the options or the future option derivative files got posted at 5 a.m. So that was the only segment which got impacted, but nevertheless, we have kept those checks at our end where we are ensuring, and we have escalations in place where in case anything is missed out, right and timely escalations are being made so that that doesn't impact any of our clients who have got onboarded during the day or have open positions which are to be squared off or to be looked upon on the next day. So yes, we would not be able to confirm whether it can be, we can speed up the process or, try to give it by 11 if the cutoff is 10. But our idea would be, yes, as soon as possible, we would try to able it to all our members. Permitted to trade marked client status is changing to not permitted to trade. Now, this is a very unique kind of, query. So in case, there is any change which is made in the current record, and if it is not matching with the requirement or not getting validated as per the, system functionality, then of course such problem will arise. However, in case there is any such case which you are observing, you may please bring it to our notice, and I assure you, we will look at it very on a highest priority. We will share our email addresses during the at the end of the session. However, you may note, because in case someone has to drop for a meeting, uci@nsc.co.in is our drop where you can write. You can also copy me in the email. My email address is jinit@nsc.co.in. I repeat, uci@nsc.co.in is our email drop for any queries for our trading members. You can copy me on jinit@nsc.co.in. Please do not only mark me, because in case if I am in some meeting and if I am not able to, look at those emails, it will, stay high and dry through the day. please copy the UCI ID, but and with a copy to me, I would not mind, and we will look into it on a priority. That's my word to you. Name and PAN change to be allowed. Now, name and PAN change, it's a totally identity change request. Now, that's a alarming situation as well. That can be a genuine situation also, can be looked upon as per the, so it's a subjective call and can be looked upon case to case. However, let's say Jinit Thakkar has a PAN 123 and now he has requested to change the name to Akshay Kumar with a PAN 456. Now here the name is changing, the PAN is changing. So from a taxation point of view, there is a concern, because if Jinit Thakkar has traded in under PAN 123, he is liable to pay some taxes as per that particular 123 PAN number 123. And if he changes his name and the identity and the PAN number to 456, how he's going to account to it and how is it going to come into someone's records? So that becomes a challenge. So we should ideally not allow. We should ask the clients to close the account and open a new account, because if it's a complete identity change, we should stop the trading of the existing account so that the books are closed at that juncture of change, and a new account can be opened under a different PAN, which can have the latest trade information. So, but however, if there is any a genuine request and which requires to be looked upon differently, we are more than glad to. You may write to us. If a client is registered in UCC before 2 p.m. and also reflecting as permitted to trade, then will his order go at 2:30? So as we spoke a while back over this, any UCC getting updated or approved during the day, he or she can only trade on the subsequent day. However, we'll keep the members updated in case we have any functionality where we periodically update it and allow trading by a cutoff, or a live API based system is in place. We are not able to download bulk modification instructions. There is, I believe there is no issue with this regard. You may try. In case you are facing an issue, please write to us. We would look upon. But while this query had come to us before this session, we checked it and it's working very smooth. It's seamless. So please do write to us in case you have, in case you're still facing a problem. In some UCC, Aadhaar status is not updated. Client has already linked Aadhaar with PAN updated status. Okay. So here I would like to explain you with an example. So let's say Jinit Thakkar has a PAN updated ABCD, which is in 2018. He has all the 6 attributes updated and he's approved, his PAN is approved and he's trading on the exchange today because all the compliances have been met and his record is updated. Now Jinit Thakkar in 2020 has gone ahead and linked his Aadhaar to the PAN. Now that information, that reverse feed does not flow to us from NSDL. In case Jinit Thakkar modifies his record, right, or updates his, some attribute, that record will flow into the NSDL system and we will have the updated flag as a reverse feed. However, since he is currently complied and is trading since 2018 and there is no change in any of the attributes, his data is not flowing to NSDL to collect the reverse feed of the latest information and coming back. In future, whenever the Aadhaar link status is getting, would be going live, we would be building a functionality where the trading members can just tick it off saying that, this is Aadhaar compliant and this Aadhaar is linked to the PAN, we will send those records to the NSDL system and get the reverse feeds, which will get updated in our records. So any record which has been historically been approved and 6 attribute compliant, that record is not flowing into the NSDL system. Hence, we are not receiving the reverse feed. However, new accounts which are getting uploaded with 6 attributes and the PANs are approved, if they have already linked their Aadhaar with the PAN, we are getting that feed at our end. In case you would want me to repeat it, you can put it on chat. We would be more than glad to repeat this again. NRI clients who do not have resident numbers, mobile numbers, how can they update in the 6 attribute? So currently there is no there is no validation with regard to it. The requirement is updation of a mobile number or a number. In case there is an international number, they can go ahead and update it. However, the trade confirmation for now is not sent on the international number. That is the confirmations which we send from the exchange by after the trading hours, the trade confirmation, which will not go on the international number, but yes, it will certainly go to the email address which is updated in our records. So that's the only drawback which we have noted, and in case that provision can be built where it can go to the international number also, we will soon have it. We'll keep the we'll update the members with that functionality. So these are the questions which we received prior the session. We would appreciate if people can in case they have any other questions, they can put it on chat. So we have received a few on chat, which is from Mr. Dilip Kolekar. Income details is mandatory requirement for institution clients or not? Dinaz, you may want to take it.
Income details is not mandatory for institutional clients.
Okay.
Okay. Preeti Gada has written that closed accounts to be reactivated on case-to-case basis with reason should be facilitated. So actually closed accounts, see, there were the 3 statuses being provided: active, inactive, and closed. So we understand that closed is one is marked as closed when everything of that client is done away with, or the relationship with that client is complete, is done away with. So that is when a member will mark them as closed. So if you have already marked them as closed, and then if this reopening account requests are coming in, so then again we come back to the same question, whether to let them be permitted to trade or not let them to be permitted to trade. So this since we are going to restrict them from not allowing them to permit to trade and limit it to the active statuses only, this we would advise members to apply caution while marking the status, because once the status is marked as closed, inactive, or we have observed in many codes, there are no statuses also marked. So this kind of
and closed accounts to a quantum of 700 or 600 clients. See, I understand it's a technical issue which would have caused that kind of a problem. Nobody would sit manually do it, because if he or she realizes after a couple of accounts, they would stop. So this is of course some technical glitch which would have caused this kind of so we would appreciate if this comes to us in writing, so that that gets documented also, and the justifications are also rightly captured, and we will take a call accordingly ahead, because there has to be some trail to it, because tomorrow in audit, if we have been questioned that how could you just open a closed account, so there has to be some base papers available which can justify our side as well as the trading members also, and it was done in after deliberation. So that's the only request. But yes, it's been a month now, and such cases, if if they're coming till last week, where, you know, the quantums are very high, it becomes very difficult because we do not have a process where we manually go and do it either. It becomes difficult to justify, you know, why are we doing this, and it's a huge base which we are. So that's the caution which Dinaz wants to bring in. Mr. Govind Raj has put a question. Income details of more than 1 year old also appearing in the permitted to trade file. Is that correct? Answer is yes, as we covered in the, you know, during the discussion. Currently, there is no validation on the date, but as we, you know, spoke about, members are requested to, you know, build a functionality or run a query on a fortnight or a monthly basis to understand if the client, you know, if there is any disproportion in between the volume and the income base. So I'll repeat the example. If Jinit Thakkar has given a income of 1 to 5 lakhs, which is updated in your records, and he's trading, volumes are crossing 10 crores or 25 crores a month, then, or a month, then there is something wrong or something amiss because the math is not adding up. Individual with 5 lakh annual income cannot trade for 10 crores. So there has to be some trigger which makes you connect with the client and ask him for his, you know, latest income details, with, of course, you know, the reason evident and clear and recorded, which the client also would not be able to deny it. However, going forward, it's a calendar year within which you have to, you know, update the, you know, latest income details. Once the validation is in place, currently we are not looking at the validation, but once it is in place, maximum of the clients which we have analyzed and our records indicate would fall under a non-permitted to trade category. So we would appreciate if you can, you know, connect with the clients during the KYC exercise, or by means of, you know, running a query whose income details are not updated post 2021 or updated are off pre 2021. Please send them emailers, or, you know, speak to them through your RMs and request them to, you know, update the latest income details. Mr. Dilip Kholicha has a query. The ABC client UCC already closed in NSC SLBM segment. The new UCC to be allowed to bulk upload facility in NSC SLBM, which is not available.
The new UCC can be created through the front-end module in the SLBM, because earlier we had the check that on in SLBM segment under one pen, only one UCC would be allowed. So, however, it was understood that members, there were clients who had closed and had gone away and had returned back to the trading member, and the trading member needed to create the new UCC for them. So we have allowed that only for the closed status clients in SLBM, you can create a new UCC under the same pen through the front-end module only.
So, Mr. Kulekar, your answer to your question is, if the SLBM account is closed, new SLBM accounts are allowed to be open.
Yes.
Through which module?
From the front end.
From the front end.
Insert module.
Insert module from the front end. If the SLBM account is closed, the erstwhile one, the new account can be opened. To be allowed through bulk upload facility, is asking.
So currently we have only allowed it from the front end to have the checks in place, because SLBM we do not see there will be many codes, and currently we have allowed it from the front end. However, going forward, we are working towards the bulk upload facility and other modes also, so that we will soon come up with this facility also. But it is allowed through the front end module.
So, Mr. Kolekar, looking at the volume of SLBM accounts, we have gone ahead live with the insert option. The bulk upload facility may come down in future, which will keep you posted. Mr. Sheila Pandey has a question. Multiple PAN regarding. Please explain. Yes, we will be covering up this, Mr. Pandey, at the end of the session. That's one of the points which we wanted to, keep the, all our friends updated about. So we will cover this up once, the 6 attribute questions are over. Mr. Praful Mehta, can we get passive income updated by sending SMS and emails to the clients of their previous income in our database?
The thing is that while you're doing the income updation, it should be confirmed by the client. So if you are sending one-sided email and SMS, and if the same is not being confirmed, then this could be a question. So we would appreciate that if there is any confirmation sought from the client and then done the updation. So since you may not have the latest updated income proof, but at least you will have a confirmation to show at any point of time. So it would be appreciated that if you take a confirmation from the client before updation.
Ms. Preeti Gara again. Validation for institution accounts are failing. Is phased income date and mobile dummy needed?
Income details is not being checked for as it is not the attribute applicable for institutional clients. The second point regarding dummy mobile numbers, there is no validation from the point that if the mobile or the landline number is already updated, then either of it is acceptable. However, we have received some of the queries and we are analyzing it. If there is any issue from the validation point, we will come back to those trading members from that point for updation.
Yeah. So Preeti, today the income details are not validated, neither the mobile. The requirement is either the mobile or the landline number. Now, if any of them is there, it will get validated. But I believe from your question, it is understood that that is failing. So you may please send us the record details. We will look into it, that what is the actual reason. If it's not interpreted well, we will communicate back to you with what is actually required and why is it failing. Permitted to trade file, PAN Aadhaar link, income date, all knowledge regarding UCC. We just spoke on all these 4 parameters. You want us to repeat? We will repeat. So permitted to trade file is a file where, which is getting updated on the day end for all the records by 10 p.m. during the day, where the PAN is approved along with 6 attributes which are required, which qualify, will be sent to the permitted to trade, will get updated in the permitted to trade file and these clients can trade on the subsequent day. PAN Aadhaar link. Currently we are, okay. So I'll again, repeat the example. If Jinit Thakkar is a complied client since 2018, his PAN is approved, his 6 attributes are updated. And he has been in the UCC system of the exchange since 2018 and trading. So there is no event which has come since 2018 where I have to go back as an exchange to the NSDL verification module and fetch his Aadhaar and PAN linking details, because there has been no trigger. However, if Jinit goes and changes his income details today, PAN change, no? Or any date of birth change.
Just to interrupt, Jinit, the thing is that the last status update that we had taken from NSDL verification module for all the PAN Aadhaar linking was in the month of March 2022. around 24th or 25th of March. Post that, whatever new codes have got added, for them, as and when we are, as immediately we are doing the PAN verification, we are fetching the Aadhaar linkage status also. So currently, if any Aadhaar linkage has taken place post our fetching the information from the NSDL verification module, is not getting updated. So, however, we are in a process of developing and providing a functionality to the members where post our status are taken from the NSDL, if there is any updation in the linkage status, they can put a request to the exchange, and exchange will then fetch the same similar information from the NSDL module to get the updated status. This is what we have planned, as the PAN Aadhaar linkage date is up to 31st of March 23. So prior to that, much prior to that, we will provide this functionality so that members can put in their request, and they can we can fetch this data on a request basis.
PAN site name and document name should be matched or not?
When a new UCC, or for that matter any UCC which has been created, it should be as per the name provided on the PAN, and it should match with the PAN site name, because the information that we are fetching from NSDL verification module is as per the PAN site details available from the income tax.
So the details have to match. The PAN name appearing on the face of the PAN card should match with the details of the PAN verification module of NSDL. In case of mismatch, the PAN will not get approved and the account will not be moved to the permitted to trade category. Permitted file received delay. Yes, we acknowledge, because 10 o'clock if we have kept a cutoff, post that to compile the entire file, and there are various other processes also which runs in parallel or before this activity. This may cause a delay. And 4th of August, if you are speaking about the incident of 4th of August, yes, there was a delay in the option segment where the file was placed at 4 a.m. But that was just a technical delay. But we have controls and escalations in place where we are closely watching any delay or any failure in the update. How to verify PAN approved?
So what we understand this as a query, that how does one come to know whether this UCC has been approved based on the PAN verification? The status of the PAN verification for the UCC is made available on the front end. Additionally, we have also given a PAN verification report that can be fetched from the member portal. Additionally, there are APIs to fetch this same information, and based on single PAN also you can fetch the information through the API. So in various modules we have given. Further, in the permitted to trade file also we are providing the PAN verification status as well as the client status. So this information is available through various platforms which can be sought by the member.
In case you want the link or you want the exact module under which this will appear, please write to us on uci@nsc.co.in. We will share the details with you. Permitted and not permitted code related issues. It should link base. Not clear on this query. Sheetal, if you can just ask the member to elaborate this. Permitted and not permitted code related issues, it should link base. If this can be elaborated, we will be able to clarify it better. What is UCC? UCC is unique client code. Preeti again, active clients if not permitted to trade, please provide reason of deficiency, as even 6 KYC attribute is fulfilled. Takes time to find out the reason for not allowed trade. So she means to say active clients are also not permitted to trade, and when they go and check, they are unable to identify what is the exact reason.
What is the deficiency?
Yeah.
So, okay. We will look into this to provide a report on the not permitted to trade clients with a reason for the same. We will look into this.
What could be the ideal reason if we have a photo?
What the query is to identify which is the deficient attribute.
Okay. So, PT, if your question is out of the 6 attributes, which attribute is missing, should be relayed to the members so that they can go ahead and contact the client to fetch that information only. If that is a question, we will, as Dinaz mentioned, we will try to build that kind of a report and place it across on a Monday, every week, which is on Monday, so that can be, fetched from the, or, collected from the clients. In case that's your query, we take your point. In case it's a different, understanding, then you may please write it again, so we will check it. Jignesh Ketia, if any of the attributes in the back office is mismatched, then will it be considered as an 6 KYC attribute?
From this point, I would say that whatever is updated in the UCC will be considered for 6 KYC attribute compliance. So if there is any mismatch, you will, because what is the mismatch, or is there a mismatch, will not be known to the exchange, as the back office is not. What is based on? So it's based on the information that a member has updated in the UCC, the 6 KYC compliance is being looked into. So if you find any mismatch, you need to correct it at the UCC. And as it is appreciated and said that all the information which is there in the UCC database has to be updated at all points of time. So
the point is, if you have updated a client's income as 1 to 5 lakhs, subsequent to which the client has come and changed it to 5 to 10 to 20 lakhs. If you have not made those changes in the UCI system of the exchange, we will not know, and hence there will be a mismatch. So our records will say 1 to 5, your records will say 15 to 20. But since that is not communicated to our the exchange UCC system or updated over there, there will be a mismatch, but it will not stop the trading. So, humble submission that, whatever changes you make at your end, please ensure that is updated at the exchange end also. Appropriate escalation metrics needed for query handling. We have shared UCI at nsc.co.in as our ID. I have given my ID also, JINITT@nsc.co.in. You may please copy me. You may please write to me with a copy to my UCI team in case it is not responded in a stipulated time. We do not want to bother seniors for, you may please write, because it's a, a client, and you are also, a part of us only who would be facing the client. We do not want any, client to stay dissatisfied because of any of our technical issues or maybe understanding issue. Please feel free to write. We will be more than glad to assist. For example, income in NSE is up to 1 lakh and back office is 1.5 lakh. Yes, Mr. Ketia, we spoke about it. In case you have updated 1.5 in exchange and subsequently the client has changed it to 20 to 25 in your records, it will not be considered mismatch because we do not have the latest information you have. So we would appreciate if you can, bring those changes and update it in the UCI exchange, UCC system also, so that we both are at, a common data.
Further, I would like to add that if the same is found out at the inspection time, during the inspection time of a member, it may not go well with the exchange ends.
Yeah.
Since this information was available and it requires it is expected that the member will keep the UCC database updated up to the date.
Manisha Mehti, those clients whose PAN's Aadhaar is not linked yet, we can can we reactivate those clients? Reactivate as in, are they closed or are they inactive? In case inactive, you all can convert it to active. You can, capture the, latest information and comply it with 6 attributes. You can, push the data to UCC system of the exchange. It will automatically get activated. However, for closed accounts, we would appreciate if the client, new account is open for those clients. Mr. Prashant Maske, there is any part of module in UCC portal where modification details to be changed for all segments in one time?
Currently, the UCC design is such that each record for a segment. And we also have markets segment-wise, separate markets and all. So currently, we do not have a module where through one record we can make the changes. But however, the same is in the pipeline that we are looking into it as to have one set of data for a client across segments. So we are working towards it, and soon we will come out with the revised file format and all for such kind of the requirement.
Preeti Gada again. Can we have one PAN, multiple codes, separate report? Since we need to work on over all huge database. So a report from the exchange where there are multiple PANs, where one PAN is associated to couple of or more than one UCC. Can we provide that to the members? Member-wise report, basically.
Yes, we can provide, but we currently we do not have a report. So this report can be built or a check. However, we are trying to build a check to restrict this entry itself. So the same is under development, and soon we should be able to release so that no trading member is able to add multiple codes to a single client across the segments. And I would like to emphasize on across the segments. It should not be considered that multiple UCCs within a segment. It is across a segment. So if it's a one client across segment, there has to be one UCC. So we will look into it as a requirement from a report perspective, but however, we are already in progress of building the check to restrict the multiple codes itself.
And since we are talking about multiple UCC, we will, want to speak or elaborate, as there was one question also, which had come up earlier by some gentlemen. So multiple UCC is a cause of concern. We have already issued a circular. We observe that many clients or many members had multiple UCCs against single PAN. And there was a cutoff also given by which, we had requested to close all the accounts which were, more than one accounts associated to PAN. So close whichever is not required or whichever does not have an open position or is dormant or is not, 6 attributes complied. So just close them because they are lying idle in your records and it's, creating, there's no trading activity happening. So it's no point keeping them alive in the records. So please go ahead and close them. However, despite the circular and the cutoff of 19th of July, we observe till date, there are few members who are allowing multiple UCCs to be onboarded. So if Jinit Thakkar is their member already, they are creating a new account in Jinit Thakkar's name under the same PAN. Now, this is a small validation which you have to build at your end, which should not allow, ideally, under any circumstances. Because if Jinit Thakkar is already there in your system, either you reactivate me if I'm not active, either you close my account and then allow me to come with a new UCC. But if you're opening a new UCC, keeping the erstwhile UCC also active, then there is a problem. It's not making any sense logically, right? Because the PAN is same, the individual is same. Then let him trade with the old UCC only. But we have seen various members allowing multiple UCC functionality continue. We have sent them individual letters also. Last week, they would have received it. It's calling for explanation why, despite the circular, these things are coming up. And as Dinaz mentioned, since we do not want to take a chance where this continues, we are building that logic at our end, where in case a UCC with a PAN is already existing in the database of a trading member or against a trading member, and if the same UCC, same PAN is coming again for account opening, the system will not allow. Unless the erstwhile is closed, the UCC exchange database is updated, and subsequently the new account opening request flows in. So that check we are building. But yes, this check also requires to be enabled at the members end. And just to give you a small flavor of it's not that the requirements are flowing again and again, or why is this happening. It is a cleaning exercise. It comes with a thought process. It has been deliberated why we should not allow, or why we should allow. So I understand there is a there would be a concern with regard to as Preeti said, that it's a huge database and we have to run across the database to identify such clients, etc. But yeah, it's a one-time exercise. Whatever we are doing or whatever we are wanting to as a cleanup exercise, it will certainly help in near future. And yes, so we will come back to you with, if we can provide you member-wise data where multiple PANs are observed, multiple UCCs are observed against a single PAN. So we'll try to work around it and come back to you. Preeti Gada, validation for institution accounts are failing. We face that income date and mobile dummy needed, and we were forced to update the same in UCC to allow to trade. Now, as Dinaz mentioned that, the mobile number or a dummy number, if you update, it's a landline number or a mobile number. But if you have faced this issue under an institutional client, please send the UCC code to us. We will check. You can mark the UCC ID and my ID. We will check it. Even landline was updated, still it asked. So that's a check which we'll have to make at our end. Please share us the UCC. We will look at what is the issue, if there is any technical change required at our end, or is it a validation issue. We'll come back to you. Sunita Vishwakarma, some of our codes status were permitted to trade, and then next day the status changed to not permitted to trade. No modification were done. 6 KYC attributes were already complied.
Yeah. So, Sunita, we would appreciate if you can share some of the codes with us so that we can check it, because we had earlier also many times received such kind of queries, but when we have checked it, it is always there was some modification which was done by the trading member in those records. So from the history data, we have seen that there were modifications either in the name or in the category or something, which has led to this kind of changes. So if you will share us why the emails provided to email IDs provided by Jinit, so that we will check these cases and we will reply to you in specific to those cases.
And yes, when the teething issues were there post July 4th rollout, there could be instances where you would have seen this, but I believe that's quite addressed and the issues are cemented. In case you are still facing the issue, please do, write to us. Hemant Nayak, if there is a minor change in the name of the client, like in KYC, client has mentioned as Hemant, and on the income tax site is Hemant Bhai. In such cases, what would be the suggestion as far as the UCC? So ideally, the name appearing on the PAN face should match with the one which is in the PAN on the PAN website. And of course, the client would be,
Actually, the client would be aware of such kind of anomaly as the PAN itself and the KYC form. If the client is filling up, he will know on this. But the second point is being that PAN is a mandatory document for trading in the securities market. So whatever information is available on the PAN and the PAN website will be considered for verification at our end as well.
So 99%, I believe it will be a match. But in case, if it's Hemant Bhai Patel and Hemant Patel, right? It's there's a logic to it also, but by far, such case should get approved. But if it's like, okay, how do I explain you that, Mr. Nayak? So if it's, let's take your name, it's Hemant Nayak. And the PAN validation has Hemant middle name Nayak, right? So there is a new, there's a middle name which is not there on the face of the PAN, but it is there in the PAN validation, NSDL, verification module. So that will have to be later on checked from your end that, what is the difference, or, if you can run a query over that and, then update the UCC details accordingly and push the record to us. Mr. Govindraj Pandyan, permitted to trade file is not received on time. 2 p.m. file is received at 7:10 p.m. Yes, we addressed this, Mr. Pandyan. There are various processes which run apart from, only updation of, the UCC file. 10 p.m. is the cutoff, the compilation of the file across exchanges, and then, all other activities which keep on running parallelly. So it is a scheduled job which will run one after the other as per the processes which are being timed. So that's the reason you receive it with a delay. However, we monitor the delays, we monitor in case of failures, and we address it during the night only or during the day, so that it doesn't become a cause of concern or a cause of, a delay on the next day. Is it possible without PAN UCC code close?
I have a query on this rather. What is the query? Is the query
can she close a account at her end which does not have a PAN?
That's
possible.
That's very much possible. If there is no PAN, then is it a PAN exempt kind of a scenario? And that is what you are asking for a closure. Then any which ways the closure is at the members and whether the client and member relationship is going on or it is closed. That status update is what the member provides the information as a feed to the exchange. So
so maybe there is a client who's dormant or inactive since before 2007, and there is no PAN, and they wish to close it. So would that PAN be not available in our records as well in the UCC database? So for raising a query, when they push the record to us as closed, do we validate that the PAN is missing? We will not close some error. Maybe the question of Meghna.
If that record exists in the UCC database, then they will be able to close it.
Meghna, you can try, closing it.
If there is any restriction, then they can actually use the short file format for closing the same also. if there is any restrictions happening from the front end because of the old record or certain junk characters which are there, because many members are facing that in the earlier records which they had uploaded in the address field or in the name field, there were many junk characters. So because of that, the front end updations are not possible. So you can use the file upload, short file upload functionality. If you are facing any issue, you can get in touch with us through the mail, and we will try to help you and get you the. But yes, you can close the account.
Mr. Mehta says, is it mandatory to collect income proof annually for F&O segment lines? Yes, you have to. And accordingly, the income proofs have to get updated in the UCC system as well. Ms. Preeti Gada, active clients, if not permitted to trade, please provide reason for 6 deficiency. Time to find out the reason. We spoke about this. We will try to build a report where the missing attribute can be conveyed to you so that it can be fetched from the client and the account can get permitted to trade as well. Appropriate escalation metrics we spoke about. You can write to the UCC, UCI, NSC, UCI at nsc.co.in ID with a copy to jinit@nsc.co.in. I'll be more than glad to look into, and I'll assure you won't require escalation beyond me. In case it's required, I'll take you. Don't worry. Mr. Dilip Kolekar says, many clients showing in NSC cash segment, PAN status active, permitted to trade, but the same clients with same name in other segment, PAN, it says inactive. The earlier issue.
The thing is that we need to check case-to-case basis records, because if the client has not been created at the same point of time, so whenever we send the information to NSDL to fetch for the said client, the verification is being done based on the information fetched at that point of time from the NSDL. So if the client has made any changes in the PAN site records over there at that point of time, and when the verification is being done for the current segment, the current point of time, it will accordingly match the verification. So that is the change which takes place between the time difference, since the records have not been updated on the same point of time. Mr. Praful Mehta is asking, can we allow client with last updated income in the year 2019 to trade? As we have already specified that currently the validation is not on the date. However, it would be advisable and suggested that members collect the latest income details as to monitor their own clients and to keep updated. Further, if the client is already an derivative segment client, then this information should have been there, because it is required to be updated and collected on an annual basis.
Yeah. Can we allow?
Okay.
I believe that was the last question. However, I would appreciate that in case there are any other issues, any means, even a minutest doubt you may have, please write to us. If you require a call back, we'll have a call back. We will explain you. But having said that, we do not want any client to suffer, neither your business to suffer. But if we can, put our records straight and, clear and crisp, it will be easier for us to retrieve them on an immediate basis, because today we have a pile of data. Again, if we look at our records, there will be, some X percentage will contribute to inactive or who has never traded in the past 2 years. So that's the reason. So the more our database, cleanup happens, the more, fast or retrievable our records would be. rather than keeping them, and causing a pressure on our query or database, will not yield us any result. So would appreciate if these small issues are being taken care of, and we would be in line with what the expectation is of the regulator. And we are here to help and to assist whatever is required, whenever is required. Please do feel free to write to us. We have last question coming from Chaitali and Jatin. We would take it. How about the clients whose last income was updated on 1st August? Will it become invalid after 12 months? As of now, there is no validation, but yes, soon once the validation is in place, it will. But we make a humble request. You should, on an annual basis, collect the information and also tally it with the volumes which that client is, doing, and whether it is in sync with the volume declared. Oh, sorry, the income declared with you. So that will be a good exercise, and I'm telling you, there will be a lot of glaring facts which will come up, which we would have never thought about. But yes, it will give us a good, a content to look at. Mr. Jatin Patel, if one UCC code is closed in SLBM segment and with same PAN we can do active SLBM segments, yes, you can. Through the
front end, insert module, you can create a new UCC with an active status under the same PAN, provided the existing one is closed, not inactive, closed.
One more, point which we would like to, speak about is email and mobile verification. So that's a new thing which will come up in due course, where every client will have to validate their email addresses and mobile numbers with the exchange directly. So that's one thing which we will have to, keep your update, clients informed about, and ensure that his or her or their mobile numbers and email addresses are correctly captured, so that they are not inconvenienced. Because if there is no reverse verification or a confirmation or a consent received from the client when we send the trigger, or when we trigger those SMSs or emails to confirm their email addresses and mobile number, they would not be able to trade. So that's one thing which is coming up, which is huge, again, a big exercise. And this is keeping in mind the client's correctness of data or factual data updated at the exchange end, and so at your end. So whatever we update, let's ensure that things are rightly captured. And since it's a part of the 6 attributes, so both have to be mandatorily captured. So that one thing we have addressed, but the correct information is the leg 2, which will be verified by the exchange. For any clarification, we tried to connect the call, but it failed to get response. So which number are you trying to connect? If it's a help desk line, I would appreciate you can drop a line to uci@nsc.co.in with the number which you tried to connect and you failed to connect. We will check with that help desk as well. Email sent to UCI is never replied on time. Fix that. Okay. Well, I'm making promises to respond within a stipulated time, but I would not say not later than maximum 48 hours, but my effort would be 24 hours, so that the impact is not there on the client. And as I said, you can copy me. I will be more than glad to look at it. But if it's taking beyond 48 hours, it's a concern for me too, sir. You can please write to me. That's my area which I have to fix, because a lot of things we ask you to fix. There are some things which we also require to work upon, and we would be more than glad to do that. Over to you, Sheetal, in case.
Thanks, NSC team. Thanks, Jinit and Dinaz, for giving a detailed clarifications on the KYC attribute and the UCC requirements. I think I appreciate that the data is getting clean. And now I think we members also require some time also to get it reconciled and get it on a case-to-case basis. We can clear this now. And the right. So thanks a lot. The NSCD.
Thank you, sir, ma'am.
Yeah.
And thanks, member, for attending the session. Thank
Yeah.
you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
everyone. Thank
Ma'am.
you so much.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Yeah.